Beautiful. But I know that you really have a great interest in near-death experience.
Yes, so for the last 7 to 8 years, I've been studying near-death experiences, so NDEs for short.
Yeah.
And that's usually when somebody has they've died,
Mm.
for lack of a better word,
Clinically.
and yeah, and whether or not they're code dead or they've died, and they know that they've died, and they were told that they died afterwards. It comes in many different shapes and forms. Um, People have these, a certain amount of people, a percentage, have these experiences where they go to the other side, to the spirit realm, and sometimes they see people that they know that have died.
Mhm.
It's countless, really, the things that happen, but sometimes there's a tunnel. Sometimes there's a life review, which goes over their whole entire life, and they can see it from different angles. They can feel it from different angles. Um, Sometimes they speak to spirit guides, to angels, to all kinds of things. All
Mm.
kinds of things happen. So I had a weird kind of spiritual experience myself, not an NDE, but it led me to getting involved in understanding and researching NDEs.
Mhm.
And so over the 7 or 8 years, I decided to start speaking with these people, right, that had gone through it, and doing things like signing up for their conventions. I was supposed to speak at the 2018 convention, but I had lost my job prior, and that's a long story in itself. But um, basically, now in the last year, I've been taking near-death experiencers through hypnosis to re-experience the other side. So it kind of ties in with my life between lives, right? I'm there anyway. So,
Yeah.
if I can help these people re-experience, because sometimes someone will come back from a near-death experience, and they know that they know so much, but they feel like they're missing a part of
Mhm.
it. They feel like they've forgotten, many different things.
Mhm.
And so what I do is I take them back to re-experience the near-death experience and receive information, new information. Sometimes we get there and they're experiencing it, and then something new happens,
Oh,
right?
like what?
So it's been all over the place. And so um, one person got there, and she was, what was happening? She was greeted by her mother,
Mm.
um, but it ended up turning into something a little different than what she had experienced, right? So her mother went and showed her this room where she enjoyed hanging out, and then her husband was there, and it was very different. But generally, uh, they they go there again. Intention is so important, right?
Mm.
You go there with the intention of re-experiencing it to a certain degree, and sometimes you get new and exciting information, right?
All right.
So, and some people don't recall having a near-death experience at all. They died, they know they did, and they feel totally different about death. They're not scared of it or anything. They don't know why, but they can't remember anything, right? And sometimes this happens, and so I'll take them through the experience to see if they can regain any of that information that was lost.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's really a beautiful area of study, right? And I'm hoping in the next couple days to get my an email from the International Association of Near-Death Studies that I'll be speaking at this year's convention. So that'll be exciting,
That would
and
be
you know,
nice.
I'll get to.
Mhm.
Sorry.
That would be nice.
Yes, it would be. It would be. It would be. But yeah, I'll get to present some of my findings and, you know, work with people there. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff coming up.
Interesting. I'm just wondering, how do you get all this subject to do NDE study?
Yeah, so I'm part of many different near-death experience groups on Facebook.
Okay.
I've made a lot of connections over the years with near-death experiencers. And basically, I've reached out to them, I've reached out to the groups, and I'm seeing, you know, not a lot because I can't handle a lot on top of my current schedule, but it's about one NDE every 1 to 2 weeks.
Nice. That's
So
a lot.
I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, that many people have that experience?
Oh yes, yeah, absolutely,
You're saying
absolutely.
1 or 2 a week?
One experiencer for me, I can only take on one experiencer every 1 to 2 weeks
Okay. That's a
because my
lot still.
schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and yeah, so I'll never take them through the death experience. I just go to, same with Life Between Lives, I go up the oh sorry, bird outside. I go up the
Yes, hi.
staircase,
Yeah.
right, to the garden, and then we go through it that way. You know,
Mhm.
I never take them to their death and then relive that, and we don't do that. So we just do it gently and get there that way. And the wonderful thing about when a near-death experiencer has had an experience is the memory, the knowing, the experience is right there,
Mm,
usually for the rest of their lives. You know,
mm.
we can think of a memory and it's kind of there and we kind of
Yeah.
know it, and, you know,
Mhm.
we can kind of see what's going on a little bit. But for them, they're living it. Like they're actually, when they think about it, they're right there. They can see it, they can feel it. You know, usually tears are there as well, you know, because it was so beautiful for them. So the great thing about that is that when we go into hypnosis, it's just even more there and they can really pull information from it, right?
Mhm.
So I know I'm going on and on about
What do you think that their memory is so indelible in their brain? What is so different between ordinary memory versus NDE experience? Why?
Yeah, I know. That's a big question, you know, and that's a big question that a lot of people are asking. You know, NDErs tend to think it's because the memory was made on a soul level, right? You were there,
Yeah.
you experienced it. It was more real than life. It
Hmm.
was NDEs are more real than what we go through here, they say, right? When they come back. Um, and so, yeah, so that's, I mean, I don't know for sure how that all works, but from, you know, what they've talked about and my understanding is that it's a memory imprinted on the soul, and um, that that memory was just so much more real than anything they could have imagined. You
Hmm.
know, I liken it, not exactly, but somewhat like, I don't know if you've ever had dreams
Hmm.
where, I mean, everything is so real and
Yeah.
vivid and colorful, you
Mhm.
know, and so, and those dreams, like, you know, I've had some dreams in my life and I can just really see them still, you know,
Mhm.
if I think about them. They're very vivid. So it's kind of like that, but this real experience that they've had.
Nice. So you are collecting all this data and work on these people, and then I'm just curious, what would you like to achieve by doing all this work?
Yeah, so what I'd like to achieve is, first of all, helping the community, the NDE community.
Okay.
So a lot of NDEers come back, and even though it was a beautiful experience, they feel lost, right? It's very hard to integrate. Yeah, because they've seen something, right? They've experienced something that has gone totally against maybe what they ever imagined, right?
Right.
And now they're having to live, one big thing that NDErs will often say is when they have to come into the body again, and this is another thing, I'm jumping, sorry.
No problem.
But usually at the end,
the floor.
yeah, right? Usually at the end of an NDEr's experience, and this happens more often than not, they will be told that it's not their time. It's not their time. They'll be back, but it's not their time. They've got stuff to do on Earth. So and usually they don't want to come back because it's so wonderful.
So pleasant, right?
Right? Yeah. So they'll reluctantly usually come back, right? And when they come into the body, it's cold and heavy and dead. So they're getting back into this body, and to integrate, knowing what they know and feeling so much different about life and what is life anymore, and seeing things from a different perspective, and usually coming back with highly, highly intuitive abilities suddenly, right? And so they'll come back, and it's very hard to integrate back into society. A lot of them end up losing some of their friends, spouses, right? Because they just don't understand what's going on. It's something that a lot of people struggle with when they come back. So for your question, what I'd like to, I'd like to help the NDE community by allowing them, if they need to go through this, and if they're feeling like they're missing information, or they want to understand why they came back, or why this is happening, what and kind of relive that again to get a better understanding of what's going on, then they can, right? And the more information that is out there for NDEers, right? The more connected they feel, and they don't feel like they're crazy, right? Because that's a big thing too. It's not, doctors will usually tell people that, oh, it's the medication that made you see that or feel that. But usually these people aren't even on medication when they died. So, yeah, so it's just a real helping the community, and I'd like to put some of it in a book, right? And so my book, I've kind of got a name for it, Love's Ripple Effect. Yeah, and so I'm just compiling messages that come back, understanding love. That's the biggest message that NDEers bring back to the earth, is love is all that matters, right? Love is it. And usually, sorry, I just love talking about this stuff, so stop me if I'm going overboard.
Love it, so let's talk, right? Go ahead.
But, yeah, so usually they'll come back, love is everything, love is all there is. And Usually I mentioned before that they'll have a life review, and this life review can take many different shapes and forms, whether it's on, a screen or just kind of in front of them or around them. And the biggest thing that they say is that, okay, so they watch their life. Every moment seems to happen all at once, but they watch their life from birth to the day that they died. And they watch it from a perspective of, okay, I'm feeling this, I didn't like that, this felt good, and then they rewatch it. And in the second go, they will be feeling, so if they're mean to somebody or nice to somebody, they feel the way that person felt.
Wow.
Right? So they're feeling the interactions, the energy transfers, the differences. And then sometimes they rewatch it again, and then they can feel how the people out and out and out and out from that situation felt. Because somebody might be mean to somebody, right? And not knowingly, and then that person is mean to somebody else because they were treated badly. And so it's this ripple effect, right? That's happening. It's rippling out and out and out into the world, into the universe, and so my book is kind of centered around, kind of came to me like, well, it's love's ripple effect, right? We want to share the love with the world. We want to be kind, share this loving kindness, and that will ripple out. And so I guess, with my helping NDEers through their experiences, again, through hypnosis, I'm just, I'm getting an understanding, and with their permission, of course, putting their words into material, and just a deeper understanding so people can read about the ripple effect and how love goes throughout the earth and the universe, and is just part of everything. So
if somebody watches it, and then if they had a near-death experience, they want to get in touch with you, how can they get in touch with you? Do you have a contact information? You can talk about it.
Oh, yeah. My information, my name is Hillary. And my email is info at somhypnosis, SOMHYPNOSIS.com. And yeah, they're welcome to speak to me about their NDE if they want, and they're welcome to set up a session to go through it if they want.
I can see now there is a need for these people to go to, because I didn't know anything about much, that they are lost in a way, right, in the society. So they need some place to go and find the answer. So that is great service that you are doing.
That's right.
And you are writing a book, and then what else would you like to help them? How are you going to help them other than at the community, writing a book, and what else?
Yeah, so, I find it's very important to just have somebody to listen, NDEers don't usually, if they're not aware of it already, they have no idea where to turn, right? And so if they have somebody that's willing to listen and understand them and not think they're out of this world, right?
Not that they're crazy. That's what usually they get the the response, right?
That's right. So that's important, right? And there are groups. There's a group in Toronto. The name of them is I'm forgetting it now, but they're attached to IONS,
Oh,
the International Association for Near-Death Studies, and they're a chapter in Toronto that meets, I think, once a month or something.
okay.
But I can send you that information too if they want to.
Yeah, I will put it up as well. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so maybe this is good idea to encourage people to come forward and get some help, right?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
what else? Yeah, what else could you help these people other than hypnosis? And then what else could you help them?
Yeah. So, besides, being there for them to take them through it again and being, a good listener, and trying to just get the message of love out there through the book. I've started interviewing them. That's another thing, I suppose. So that's another way to get their message out, right? And to hear other people's messages too, right? That's very important. I think the biggest thing with experiencers, near-death experiences, are just that understanding that they're not alone, right? That there's lots of different kinds of spiritually transformative experiences out there, and that's another thing. Like I've helped people who have had shared death experiences where someone they love or know personally is dying, and they find themselves having a visual of being with them while they're dying and going
Oh,
to the other
fantastic.
side.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really
So there's
great.
all kinds of things.
Wow.
Yeah, and I work with them too, right? I don't turn anybody away really if it's if they want to find out more, but yeah, out of body experiences people have and they don't really understand, spiritually transformative experiences, near death experiences, so all kinds of things. Yeah.
Briefly, back then you were mentioning that you were going to go to convention, but you couldn't make it. What kind of convention is that?
The International Association for Near-Death Experience Convention. And that one that I was supposed to go to was in 2018. And I would have been talking at that time. I was studying because I was also doing design work, product design. And so I was kind of merging, I had this idea at the time of merging design and end of life care together and understanding through near-death experiences how to better that environment. It's a long story, but basically at the convention, it's a huge convention. It was in Seattle at the time, and there was lots of different guest speakers, panels, workshops, all kinds of different things. And this year, I think it's going to be online. So I'll be speaking from my home, but yeah, it's still good for people to know about and go to if they have any, inquiries about it, if they've had a near-death experience and they don't really know where to go or, who to turn to. Yeah, it's just a big place where everybody's connected and, everybody's gone through somewhat the same thing in a way. So they're just open and loving and just willing to talk about their experience. And I think that one actually was about the after effects in particular of near-death experiencers. So like I said, a lot of experiencers come back with heightened intuitive abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole range of things they come back with, but yeah, it was supposed to be pretty good. I wish I had gone in the end, but I just couldn't at that point. But
Obviously, that wasn't your time, and this year
It wasn't my time.
no.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's how I try to think of it, as, you know, it wasn't the right time to go, and you know, now I'm going there with something completely different, right? And yeah.
Yeah. So you are well prepared for the convention, right?
Pretty much. Yep. Yep. Things will change, like I said in my you know, the thing I sent to the convention to apply to speak. You know, every day I'm learning something different, right? So by the time the convention comes, there could be new information, you know, that I put together. So, yeah.
Fantastic. It sounds so exciting, right?
Yeah, I am pretty excited about it. Yeah.
Anything else would you like to share with the NDE people?
I guess, you know, if they are watching, you know, if there is someone who's gone through an experience that they don't understand, um, you know, you're not alone, right? You can reach out. You can reach out to myself. You can reach out to IANS. I'll give you that website as well to post here.
Okay.
And yeah, just know that you're not alone, and that there's definitely a huge amount of people that will listen to you and understand you and not think you're crazy. You know, and there's so many beautiful things that come from it too, if you're able to talk about it and process it. Right? That's so important, to process it. Yeah.
Is there any information about how many people are here in Canada have had NDE?
Yeah, so I think the current information is that 1 in 10 people have had a spiritually transformative experience, whether that's NDE or STE, a shared near-death experience. So 1 in 10, that's like, you know, 10%, I guess, of the population.
That's a huge amount.
But it is a huge amount. And, you know, I think people are scared to talk about it. So the people that sometimes, you know, I think there's a large amount of people that when they've died, and come back and they have this experience, they keep it to themselves, right? Because they don't want to be ostracized by society, right? And so it's very important to talk about it and to get, you know, help if you need it from the right people. And there's a huge community for it. And luckily, yeah, there is a chapter in Toronto, and again, I'll get you that information for them.
That'd be nice.
But yeah.
So
yeah, I think a lot of people do hide it.
I guess so, because society isn't ready, right? So they don't want to be isolated.
Yeah.
Yeah. So totally understand.
Exactly.
Totally, right? So now,
yeah,
if they watch this, you know, the talk today, please contact you know, Hillary, and then go through finding out what is the you know, the experience are for. And I know personally Hillary is a great listener, and she's got a vast compassion. So you have the right person to go to. So okay.
Thank you.
You have such a beautiful personality that you understand each one of them, right? No matter who they are.
Yeah, it's
quality you have.
I have had people say that before. Yeah. Yeah. I'm thankful that I have that quality, because it allows me to do my job really well.
It's your work, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. Anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. I'm just thankful to have gotten in touch with you and gone through the QHHT process, and going through it myself as an intern now, and a level 1 intern, and I'm still working on my 25 free sessions, but I think I'm on like 14 now or something. So
Getting there now.
getting there.
You're
Yeah.
getting good enough.
Yeah. Right.
And you are busy anyway with the LBL and NDEs and everything, right?
Yeah, and I'm a general hypnotist as well, right? So besides the spiritual stuff, I work with people with anxiety, with PTSD, with all kinds of things, sleep disorders. Funnily enough, because I dealt with one, but I did a lot of healing on my own with that, right? That's why I became a hypnotist. Because of the healing that came through hypnosis for my own anxiety and sleep disorder. So yeah, I've been I've been busy, but yeah, it's a beautiful profession, and I never in a million years would have thought I'd be a hypnotist at 40 years old, but I am.
You're meant to be.
I'm meant to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your
Thank
interests and experiences.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hillary. So we talk again.
Absolutely.